Okay, folks, I am day 3 post-surgery and back at the workshop because I don't deal well with boredom. Here I am, yay! Well, I'm here behind the camera, but in front of the camera, we have a good news story. So I ordered many parts from a gentleman in the US who was breaking one of these lovely Kawasaki Z1100 A1s. And he basically had everything. So what just arrived was the front brake system in its entirety. So both calipers with brake pads, not that we're going to use them. The brake lines, the splitter, which sits right there, the reservoir, the perch and mount. Obviously, they need to be refurbished, but it's a complete system. And interestingly, all of these bits, so all of these other calipers and mounting brackets and other stuff, must be from the Z650, so that guy in the corner over there, because the brackets are slightly different between the A1 spec Z1100, which is a bigger bike, so obviously you'd expect that, and the 650, which is a smaller bike, so being slightly smaller makes sense, if that makes sense. Also you'll see that we have indicators. Now, as you know, last weekend the Auto Elect was in. Since then, the rear tail light, so the correct tail light for this bike, has arrived and been fitted. Auto Elect did his work. We've got 3 of the 4 indicators. That one's missing the rubber behind there, but that's on order and should be here Tuesday. We've got 3 of the 4 fitted, and the good news is that all 4 indicators work. Now, I can't show you at the moment because unfortunately this wiring harness, and that's the left and right wires plus the earth, which needs to connect up to all of this, have been chopped prior to me getting a hold of it. But I've tested it, I've held them all in place as you do, and we've got idiot lights starting to come up on the dash. So that I can show you. And let me just show you kind of where we are at the moment. So with our oil pressure light, obviously there's nothing for it to get pressure from, so not connected at the moment. Things that we are seeing, which are starting to make me feel quite happy, are when I flip that to Parker, you can see that instrument cluster side comes on. Now this one doesn't, but these gauges are going to go out and be refurbished anyway. In the box down here is another set of American spec gauges, but the wiring harness and bulbs and everything are identical between this lot, which is kilometers per hour, and that lot, which is miles per hour. So we can recycle all of that, put new bulbs in. So not worried about that. These will come back all black and shiny. I've got chrome covers down there that have already been re-chromed, so they're ready for that. Obviously fuel won't work until we get, a fuel tank with a sender on it. Other nice things that we're finding out are, so I think I can do this. That's my run button. How did I do it before? Yeah. You can hear the solenoids now working, so that's really good. So we have lights, and certainly we've had the headlight hooked up and that works. So that's really encouraging. Again, not worried about this instrument cluster. Obviously the handlebars have to go out and be re-chromed, and as do a few other things. But electrically speaking, I think I can show you the rear brake light as well, actually. Yeah, there we go. So that's using the master cylinder that was supplied from America. And I now have working rear lights, which is really good. And I have the Parker light come on when I turn that on. So it's really good sign. It's a really, really good sign. I wonder if I can, yeah. So there you go. There's the left and there's the right up front. So again, we've got that bulb is out, but I'm not worried about that. And this has fancy self-canceling turn signals. Look, and they stop. Yeah. So that is going to get taken off and cleaned. If I turn the lights on, you can see I've got my high beam now. That's controlled over here. And I've got my pass. Oh, hang on, nope, pass is there. There we go. So that's pass on this side. and horn over here, but we haven't got a horn hooked up. So the electronics are slowly coming back to life, which is very, very encouraging. The other good news is that these rotors on here, although they look terrible, and to be fair, they do look bad, these will just come off and get sanded, basically. So they go through a lathe. These are still within spec. I think it's 3mm or 3.5mm. So those can be reused, and replacement rotors are literally just Allen head bolt-on replacements anyway. So this will get new wheel hubs, new bearings in the wheel hub. Obviously, the theme is that we're going to try and make this look like an Eddie Lawson replica. So the metal will be polished here. The inner bit, instead of being black, will be gold. So very, very Eddie Lawson. So if you look up Eddie Lawson Kawasaki Z1100 R for replica, you'll see that. So that's what's going on there. The other nice thing is that this front assembly came with all the clips that hold the speedometer cable in. So that's a really nice thing as well. The original OE clips, as you can see, I've just popped one out there. So all of that stuff, you know, costs dollars. So if you can buy it secondhand and somebody ships it as part of the front brakes, as this chap did in the US, then that's a very good result. I'll fiddle with that. There we go. So we have wires that are held in place properly with OE stuff. Now the mud guards, as I mentioned in a previous video, are just placeholders. They are not, this is not how they were painted. So these will be Kawasaki green. The tank will be Kawasaki green, blue and white. So green all over with a blue and white stripe down the side, and Kawasaki in gold. But really she's coming together pretty nicely. I actually think, and I might, not that I believe in it, but I might actually jinx myself here a little bit. I actually think that by the time that seat goes out, which is the Z1100 seat that needs reupholstering, and that's going locally, I should have the wheels back, and they'll be completely refurbed. So sort of a month from now, you'll see that rear wheel and final drive, plus the front wheel and bearings all sorted out. The engine, as you know, has dropped off at BC Performance. Thumbs up BC Performance, so they're just pulling that apart. I should have a parts list early next week, and that's going to go oversized, so that's going to be interesting. We think the engine has been exposed to moisture or been underwater or something. The piston liners, which obviously are the bit that sit inside, need to be replaced, and we're going to go oversized pistons. So in fact, this won't be an 1100, it will probably be a 1250 or something by the time we're done. But the shaft drive that goes with this, which is in that bucket right there, are incredibly strong and can absolutely take 12, 13, 1400 cc's. They've even done turbo versions of this. So the other nice thing is we'll replace this horrible shock system on the back and go with Eddie Lawson Replica lookalike. Not the actual thing, because they're like $1,500 for a set of shocks, and I'm not doing that for a bit of a fun ride. But generally speaking, this will be two up. It'll look good. It'll turn a few heads. There are very, very few of these on the road. So I think only a handful were imported into Australia. So it should be very good fun. So headlight down there, headlight bucket, airbox covers with a bit of bling on the side. We've got a matching lock set on the bike now. As I say, the seat's back there. The wheels are waiting patiently for me to finish fiddling with them, and then all the bodywork, so front and rear mudguard, ducktail, tank and two side covers will go out for paint. So stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you in the next video.